Okay, so we had a pretty crazy sell-off yesterday, right at the last minute of the last hour or so of the market. Nasty sell-off, reacting to the rate hikes. Uh, I actually, it doesn't show here, but there was, if you zoom into a maybe 5 minute time frame, yeah, which is a time frame I almost never look at. I did get picked up on the 250, and it bounced back up for a pullback straight to the 500. Like, it's just, you can't make this stuff up. Textbook quarter bounce. Um, Obviously, that was lucky because this was it was during a move that was just slicing most people up. It went from the seven. Well, let's say it's from the 750 all the way down to the 2000. It was a 750, 700 plus, 700 plus point move on the Dow Jones on this particular CFD of the index, right? And I happened to catch the impulse that was literally to the T, almost, right? The low was 44, so I got picked up at the 250. It went down as low as 44, and it just completed the quarter. So that's, I mean, it's just one win. But it feels good, right? It feels like you hit a bullseye with a sniper rifle from really, really far away with your eyes closed, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, but that's not the kind of thing that should be like celebrated that much. It should be. Uh, it's a bad habit to start celebrating those things and start bragging about. Look at how nice of a shot that was, and that's okay, I guess, in sports or something because there's no real bad habit building up or anything that affects the rest of the account or the rest of the season. Positive momentum is a good thing, but in this case, it's not. Um, it, it's a distraction, but it's just something that I to me it's further evidence that quarters is a legit edge, and it reinforces that and it increases my faith in it. Now, uh, since then, it went straight to the 2000 and it paused again. Another obvious indication that quarters are a legitimate edge. But then what I did was it was very close to my target at 250, right? More than halfway up. I moved my stop up to break even. It tapped my stop out, and then it shot up this morning. And I was just like, oh man, I hate when that happens, you know? I hate when it retests my level and then it works again. Like it happens from time to time. This move stop to break even does help prevent losses, but this is the price you pay. I don't know what the percentages are, so it's just one of those things. You just have to be comfortable with the uncertainty. Now, if I was, let's zoom out. I don't like this 15. I don't like this 5 minute. Let's go to the 15. Now, if I had gotten alerted to it earlier, I wasn't up. I didn't. I don't. I'm not awake at 6:15. Um, but if I was and I was alerted to it and I saw this formation, it's an obvious, like at the 3000 or at the 2000 even major level, like it's an obvious choice to try and re-engage it. And right around the open, um, it did re-engage it and just shot up. And this is not a surprise at all for me. I talk about this all the time. When there's a like some kind of Fed announcement, some kind of news announcement that moves the market this much, usually it will find its way back to fade it, right? In this case, it's going to fade it back up to wherever it was originally. So when I did see this, I was like, it was already like up here around the 200, 250 area. It was already making these candles. And I felt like I missed out for sure. I was like, wait a minute, why did I get stopped out? And then I was confused for a minute, and then I remembered, oh, it's because freaking moved the stop to break even. Why did I do that? There was that kind of thought process going through my mind, especially when it was going to make this kind of a formation. It didn't save me; it actually cost me. Um, overall though, I think my account is just kind of just wobbling around the 200 ish area, 2 to 300 dollar gain area off of a $15,000 account for like the past 3 weeks. This week it hadn't really done anything. Last week I didn't trade much, and then I was on vacation before that, and it was just, it's really not exciting to look at my account growth. It's just chopping around, and that's always been my biggest frustration. Is like I can't seem to get, you know, I plateau like this for long periods of time, and I can't seem to get that next level. And I don't really know exactly what the answer is, but I know that breaking the pattern is not the answer. It's which is counterintuitive, because if you want something to change, you got to do something different, right? But uh, maintaining, it's just like I know it's just like this one small tweak that's going to make a huge difference, kind of thing, because that's how it's always been, and I think that's the nature of this game. It's just too common for people to throw the baby out with the bathwater, when it should be like, what tiny little droplets of new ingredients or new oils or new salts or something that you can add to the bathwater, that is gonna just completely make the experience different. And I think it's for me, it's just fine tuning the discernment of when to do what. I think the majority of it is that I miss a lot of these big moves. Like I missed this opportunity to re-engage. So I think part of it is that as we wrap up the week here, because I'm not going to trade again tomorrow. Um, I'm thinking that this is going to be one of those things where I just have to look at the market even more than I do, right? I think I look at it too little. Uh, or if I'm going to look at it this little, I need to go for bigger moves over a longer period of time, and take it more like a big investing style. So it's like I won't even look for moves that are 250. Even 250 is too small. I would only look for like 1,000 point moves, which drastically reduce changes the way that I look at and do my technical analysis. Like I would look at it like, for example, I would look at, okay, break below this nine. I would re-engage this 925, this 30,000 up here. 925 is the front running first order, and then 3,000, 33,000 over here, and then only go for do that, and only go for 1,000 point moves, 1,000 to 1,000. Okay, and in this one, it would be like, oh, I would try to go from 1,000 to 1,000, and it would never have worked. But you got to manage the trade so that there was plenty of opportunity here to not get stopped out and stuff like that. And this type of range bound kind of week would just, I actually kind of made money in this week, trading short term, because inside of it there's plenty of opportunity. But like it just has to change. The amount of attention I put into the market needs to change. Is really what I'm. My strategy doesn't need to change. The amount of attention I put into the market needs to change. Is what either go way more or way less. I feel like I'm in like this weird no man's land where the reason I'm only getting, my account is chopping around in like the break even kind of situation, and plateauing, is because when I do look at, like, all I'm really capitalizing on is set and forget traps, not real time movements. Um, and there's a little FOMO there. But if I want to only set up traps, then I need to zoom out for that to work. Or if I'm going to look at if I'm going to look at things short term, I need to actually be there to capitalize on real time movements. So those are the like, I don't know that many other traders actually, or teachers, focus on like your routine of how much you're looking at it, because I think they assume that you look at it all the time, like you're there for every single movement, and that's just not realistic. Nor would I want it to be realistic. I don't want to live like that and look at the charts 24/7 to capture every single move. Like that's just not realistic. The point is for me to look at it as little as possible. Um, Balancing that out with, hey, the juice has got to be worth the squeeze. What's the return on my investment? So this to me is I got a good lucky wins. Like my strategy is just proving itself to be like, yeah, there is an edge. It's just a little slow because I don't hit it all the time. And so next week there might be a slight adjustment to the amount of um, attention that I put into the market. So got to figure that out. I'll spend the weekend kind of thinking about it, but there won't be any trading. Mostly, there will not be any trading tomorrow, and we'll come back on Monday.